The Braves take Game 3 of the World Series. They win Game 3 2-0 and take a 2-1 lead over Houston and are halfway to a championship. And like I said earlier in my earlier video, the team that wins Game 3 wins about 65% of the time, 70%, so the Braves have a 70% chance of winning now. And how about Ian Anderson pitching 5 hitless innings, and the bullpen held up despite allowing 2 hits in the 8th and 9th innings. But hey, I'll take the shutout either way. And I mean, only Don Larson and Roy Halladay pitched a no-hitter in the postseason. And the Braves are 6-0 at home. Hey, that home field advantage really worked for Atlanta. And yes, it's the Braves' first World Series game at home in 22 years, and their first World Series win since the clinching game in Game 6 in 1995 when Tommy Glavine pitched eight shutout innings, and then Mark Wohler sealed the deal. Unfortunately, that would be the Braves' only championship during that 90s run they had. Of course, in 1990, they were in last place in the Western Division. Of course, the Braves, that was before the realignment. And so, 1990, they finished in last place. David Justice was the National League Rookie of the Year. 1991, the Braves go from worst to first. And the Braves, of course, beat the Dodgers by 1 game in the division that year. Then they would play the Pittsburgh Pirates in 7 grueling games in the NLCS. And then they would face the Minnesota Twins, another worst to first World Series qualifier. And unfortunately, the Braves would lose to the Minnesota Twins in 7 games that year, which the home team won every game in 91. So John Smoltz, Jack Morris in that duel in Game 7. And then it was, however, in 92, the Braves made it back to the World Series after beating Pittsburgh again in the NLCS. And yes, Sid Bream scored the winning run in that game as well. However, the Braves would lose to the Toronto Blue Jays in the 92 World Series when Dave Winfield hit that tie-breaking double in extra innings in Game 6 to bring Toronto its first World Championship. The Braves, of course, would beat the Giants by 1 game in 93, in which was considered the last true pennant race. And the Braves would make it to the NLCS for the 3rd straight year, but would lose to the Philadelphia Phillies in the NLCS, who would soon be their division opponent in 94. However, the 94 season was canceled due to the baseball strike. Had the strike have not happened, the Braves would likely be a wild card team because the Expos would finish ahead of the Braves. And who knows, the Braves and Expos would have played each other in the NLCS. However, in 95, that would be the charmed year. In the strike-shortened year of 95, the Braves would finally win the World Series by beating the Cleveland Indians 4-2 after getting past the Rockies and the Reds in the playoffs. And then the following year, in 96, the Braves won the NL East again. However, they would sweep the Dodgers in the division series, fall down 3-1 to the Cardinals in the NLCS, but the Braves would rally and outscore the Cardinals like 32-1 in the final 3 games. However, the Braves easily won the first 2 games in the Bronx, thanks to Andrew Jones' home runs and the pitching of of Smoltz and Maddox. However, the Yankees came back and won 4 in a row. And then in 97, the Braves would make the NLCS for the 3rd straight year. After beating Houston in the division series, the Braves would fall to the wild card Florida Marlins in the NLCS, and the Marlins would go on to win the World Series. 1998, the Braves made it to the NLCS again after sweeping the Cubs in the division series, and then would lose to Tony Gwynn and the San Diego Padres in the NLCS. And ironically, Kevin Brown pitched well against the Braves both in 97 and 98 in the NLCS. He was a Braves killer. And then in 99, the Braves made it back to the World Series against the Yankees after beating the Mets in the NLCS. And the Yankees would sweep the Braves to capture their 25th World Series title. However, the early 2000s, in 5 out of the 6 years, the Braves would be bounced from the division series, with 2001 the exception. But that was all under Bobby Cox and Greg Maddux, John Smoltz, Tom Glavine. You know, it was a long time coming for the Braves this year after a heartbreak loss last year to the Dodgers. But it is what it is. But I could give the Braves the win. Travis d'Arnaud out of Lakewood hit a home run. And tomorrow will be a bullpen game for both sides. And Will Smith with his 5th save of the postseason to go along with his 2 wins. So Braves are in good shape. Meanwhile, have a great night, and I'll break you down Game 4 tomorrow. Peace.